Hello everyone and welcome to another live from the workshop and what is, I believe, going to be my first in my TimeLord Victorious customs, or at least my first live from the workshop that's actually part of this series. So obviously I've previously done the 10th Doctor from the TimeLord Victorious, but today we're going to be doing the first of the Daleks, and we are going to be doing something very special today, because you might not notice it from what I've got here, but that's because I am quite literally still making it as we record. But I do have here a first draft of something. This is not something I'm going to be painting for this bit, because I'm printing a better version, but I have this, which some of you might recognize as the Dalek Emperor. Now this, I have made this myself, and I've 3D printed it. As I said, this is the first draft, so it's a bit rough around the edges. I'm literally, as I speak, printing the updated draft. But yes, so I'm going to be making the 5-inch Dalek Emperor. So it's going to be a sort of semi original piece by myself, because all of the appendages and bits and the dome, as you've just seen, I am making myself, but the actual body I am adapting from a design on Thingiverse by Edward Felix, which I'll come back to as I'm printing it. So yeah, it's a little bit I don't have everything here right now as I'm printing, as I'm painting it, but we're going to get on to starting with the painting, because we might as well paint while we're printing. So we're going to be doing all of the appendages and things. So I've got the gun, I've got the arm, I've also got the eye stalk, the lights on the top, and then I've got an extra piece there which is for the eye fixing on the inside of the dome. But yes, so let's get on to starting with the painting. And here it is finished, my golden TimeLord Victorious Emperor. So I know my sort of running joke slash catchphrases, I'm really pleased with how this came out, but I really am this time, and I mean that more so than I know I also say I really am, but I really am, because this is really the first time, aside from the little claws I did for the movie Daleks, this is the first time that I've really properly 3D designed something myself and then printed it, and it's come out so much better than I thought thought it would. I have to say I can't take completely full credit for this, so I do want to make a point of saying this mid section is from the new series Dalek model that is made by Edward Felix, which is currently on Thingiverse, and this base and this skirt section is a remodeled version of his that he's done, so I have to give credit to him for them. I said I have remodeled the skirt section, but the mid section is how he designed it, so I do have to give him credit for that that front of it. But the gun section, the arm, the dome and the globes and the eye stalk are all pieces that I have modelled myself, and the lights of course, all pieces that I have modelled myself. And this is not a static model either. The head does turn, the eye stalk moves up and down, and the arm joints are completely freely available to move. So, oh, and as well, it does also have wheels on the bottom as well, which I'll come back to in a second. So, to take you over the ins and outs of it, basically the head is a two-part globe, which if I lift off carefully, you can see inside, you can see the eye pivot, which I've put in there, and then there's a plate over the top of that which just holds it in place, and obviously then that just does slot nicely into the top of the figure. All of the globes are basically just slotted in. There's a little hole, and then there's a plug on the back of the hemisphere, which then slots into the body. If I take the head off a second, actually, again, you can see inside the body. So on the inside of here, what I've done is I have just used a bit of Milliput in there to block off the holes where these were. So again, it just gives them freely available to join. And if you look carefully in the bottom, you can see the wheels. And this wheel set is actually one that is taken from a classic Dalek base that is made to fit into the bottom of that. The original plate, the wheels, and also the front wheel pivot fits in there nicely. And that's basically it, really, in terms of what it is and what it does. I'm very quickly going to go over the files for this as well, because I know a lot of people are going to be hoping that I've made this, but one variation that I have made for this is I've made an extra base piece, which again just does slot into the bottom, but if you haven't got the wheels, I will be making this piece available, which has some spheres on the bottom to give a sort of hover mode, but also just raises it up slightly. It means that you can put that in the bottom if you don't want to put wheels on it. Now, as I'm sure many of you are hoping, I will be putting the files up on Thingiverse to download for this, and I will also be doing one kit a month of these through my eBay for those without 3D printing capabilities. But I will say the files I'm probably not going to upload for another week, simply because there's a few little tweaks I want to do, because as I said, this is the first thing that I've really made 3D printing wise myself, and in doing so I have come across a few small sort of snags and things like this, so that looking over it now, I've put it together, I could have improved and changed. So I've got to do those. I'm going to go over those. Nothing hugely major, it's relatively small bits, but it's simple things like I'm going to try and create a backing section to the gun box, which will hold it in place rather than using Milliput. I want to make some little small changes on the head, and that's really it. There's not a huge amount that I need to change on this, but it is one that I am very, very pleased with, because it has come out a lot better than I thought it was going to. So a breakdown of parts for what's going to be included in the files as well. So we're going to have the base section, we're going to have the base insert, either both the wheel version and the hover version. There's 42 of these globes. Obviously I'll only put one as a file, but you will need 42 of them. The gun and the ball joint is another part. The ball joint and the arm is another part. You've then got the midsection with each of these slats which need to be put in place. You've got the front decals on the gun box, the skirt section obviously, and then the head is made from 2 half spheres. You've then got the eye stalk, the eye pivot inside, the under base, I suppose you would call it, of the eye stalk, and then obviously you've got the 4 eyes as well. Now the eye parts I have actually used again on my other TimeLord Victorious Daleks. These ones are flat based, so they literally just stick onto the top of the globe, but the ones that go into the other Daleks, which I'll be doing from TimeLord Victorious, are actually made with the same fixings as the ones that are already in the standard Dalek, so those will just be interchangeable, but it does use the same base model. And for those people wondering in terms of scale for this, I have here a standard new series Dalek, which is the same scale as the ones that I will be using for the other TimeLord Victorious Daleks, but that does give you an idea of the scale of the Emperor. He is very much in scale with sort of how he would be in the comics, in the Eagle Moss figures and things we've seen. So it has come together very, very well, and it is one that I am very, very pleased about. As I said, it's something which I'm really not that well versed in doing 3D printing, but I have to say, not to blow my own trumpet, but for a first attempt at designing something 3D printing wise, I think I've done quite well, even if I have had to use other people's parts to make some of it, but particularly the dome I'm very pleased with, and the fact that I've got it to retain all the articulation is something which is another plus as well. There will be a link in the pinned comment below with a link to the Thingiverse and also to my eBay for people that want to download these or go onto my eBay to buy one for those without 3D printing capabilities. At the time of uploading this video, as I said, there probably will be a week before they go up, but if this video is older than a week, then the links should be there. But please keep checking back for those watching it as soon as it uploads, because they will be coming very soon, just a few changes that I want to make. But that brings to a close another Live from the Workshop TimeLord Victorious. As always, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, favorite, subscribe, share, it really helps me out a lot. Be sure to go to the description below for a link to my Patreon. I'm doing my very first figure animation and you can get involved. There's exclusive content and rewards for those who do so, and funding my Patreon in any way gets your name at the end of my videos. I salute you all, and I'll see you with another video very soon.